So welcome to all those that are on board today for this, our final webinar in the series of the Making the Most from Nitrogen Project webinar series for 2020. I think we have some ideas from other presentations that will certainly be made in 2021. But this just wraps up this series that we've been primarily working very closely with Professor Richard Eckhart from the University of Melbourne that couldn't make it today, and also Professor Rollins, or Dave Rollins from CUT on their results from the More Profitable Nitrogen program. But today, as yes, it is our final webinar, and it's concentrating on the optimising of irrigation and nitrogen interaction, which is a very, very important component. So fundamentally setting up that right platform, soil moisture platform, for optimising nitrogen use. So today we thank both Hunter Local Land Services for this project, and also the Department of Agriculture, Water and the Environment for their support through both the More Profitable Nitrogen program and also the Smarter Irrigation for Profit program as well. Okay, so today we have Peter Beale speaking from Local Land Services. We thank Dr. James Hill joining us today from the Tasmanian Institute of Agriculture through the Smarter Irrigation for Profit project. James will be talking very specifically on irrigation management, so setting that right platform for optimising nitrogen performance. And then once again, we introduce Professor David Rollins, who will be presenting on increasing nitrogen efficiency in dairy pastures project. We have 3 sessions today. We have Peter talking, just to give us a little bit of a summary on a very interesting paper from the South African Water Research Commission and its relationship to our systems here on the Untitled Mid-North Coast of New South Wales. We have Dr. James Hill talking on, as I said earlier, establishing that right moisture platform, so getting irrigation right, starting on time, setting that right environment for us to apply nitrogen strategically. Then we have David Rollins talking on the influence of irrigation on nitrogen efficiency. We'll have a quick Q&A after each session, but we'll have a final Q&A at the end as well. So just a reminder that we have the FERT Smart Nitrogen Guidelines now on the Dairy Australia website, and also the FERT Smart Nitrogen Pocket Guide, both essential new documents that have come from the More Profitable Nitrogen research and have been written by the research partners in collaboration with Western and Dairy Australia. So I'll stop sharing now, and first of all, we're going to have Peter Beale present on the paper that I spoke of earlier, and it's just a really short summary, but we hope to get one of the researchers from this paper to actually present early in 2021. But this is just a little bit of a taster of it. So Pete, can you please share your screen?
Thanks, Marguerite. This is just a paper. It was done in 2000, well, the work was done in 2007, 2008 in South Africa, which was on a ryegrass system similar to ours, similar environment. And I just felt it was really useful in that they collected a lot of data at 3 nitrogen rates and 3 different irrigation regimes. So just the irrigation regimes, once a fortnight, where in the blue line here, where they dry down, they fill it up to field capacity, dries down, fills to field capacity. And that was the regime through the year. And you can see the once a fortnight's getting drier and drier as you're getting into the warmer months. The second was once weekly, similar trend that it's getting drier and drier on that regime until you get into the warmer months. And then the other one was twice weekly, and never really got as dry as the others, maintained a very high wet soil profile. And it's interesting to be able to see it from that perspective. So what were the results? Let's see how So this is just annual results over 2 years. They did it with 3 different nitrogen rates: 0, 30 kilograms per hectare per cut, and 60 kilograms per hectare per cut. And you see the thing in a, well, I guess it'll come out again and again through Dave's work, that where we stress for moisture, despite nitrogen, we get an increase in nitrogen rate, but where we keep moisture content really humming, you get a much bigger response for your nitrogen. And there's this interaction between water and nitrogen that if you're going to irrigate on time, you'll get good responses to nitrogen. You probably need a little bit more, or more is more economical. But if you stress the plant, then you go backwards on your response. So the two always go hand in hand, and probably on irrigation you should be using higher nitrogen rates than you should on dryland, because you're going to get high yields, and that sort of interaction needs to be considered. When you look at it on a water use efficiency basis, yeah, the nitrogen rates slow down in terms of response once you're getting to that weekly watering, but still significant differences by doing things really well. And those differences, this is over the year, that some of the differences are quite small in July, as you'd expect, but as you get further and further down the track, you're getting bigger responses to irrigation as things dry out. And bear in mind that some of these, the middle ones did get a bit dry. But again, the other lesson from this is that between weekly and twice weekly is probably a little bit extreme. Weekly watering's definitely fairly close together, but so there wasn't a huge difference in that particular thing. So it's just some data. It'd be great if we could get somebody to talk in more detail. They looked at quality and a lot of other factors. We won't have time to look at that now, but the key message is that ryegrass is quite a sensitive species. There are really big benefits by not stressing it, and we have the technology with what we're demonstrating through the Smart Irrigation project to use soil moisture curves and be able to get a real handle on just how stressed the plant is at different times. And I think that's, we're leading into what James has got to say. There's big benefits for getting it right. So that's all I wanted to say, Marguerite.
Right. Well, thanks, Pete. I think that does kind of lead very nicely and strongly into James's presentation. So we might just, rather than QA right at this moment, I think we'll do that at the end of James. So Pete's just talking about the benefits of getting irrigation right. It's definitely that scheduling irrigation, avoiding the stress is what's really important.